And here we go. Fight started.
Okay, I think you're like you're a couple of seconds ahead of me.
Probably a little. Tyson is trying to bull rush Paul. It's not going well.
Okay, you're way ahead of me because they're still getting referee instructions about don't hit each other below the belt
Okay.
on mine, and I don't want to
First,
fuck with my TV because
no,
God
no,
only
that
knows
that's
what'll
fair.
happen.
That's fair. Look, normally I'm a little bit behind you, so this will be interesting for me.
Sweet.
Paul already with our first clinch, which is not surprising. Both men looking for the jab. Tyson still got the fast hands. Look, here's the other reason you got to favor Jake in this: 14-ounce gloves and 2-minute rounds.
Yeah,
Like that's all here to help Jake Paul. And Tyson's going to be dangerous for stretches of this. That's not in dispute, but
so
he doesn't
again,
have he's not going to be there for 8 rounds of this. He's going to fall
so
apart physically down
we
the
talked
stretch.
about how this was a casual attraction. This is a marketing event to let the world know Netflix is getting into the live event space. Um,
Yeah, that's what a lot of it is. Tyson.
Amazon has already been doing it. They've been doing boxing matches. Peacock's been doing it. You know, Peacock was out of the gate with the Olympics and WWE. But
Well, Peacock also does soccer, does a
yeah.
lot of the European leagues and whatnot, which is a big traffic drawer in theory.
So
Right hand from
the
Jake.
point that I was getting to is you call the action, and I'm just going to let you do the calls tonight because I'm too far behind you. I'll react when there's something to react to.
That's
But
fair.
um, one of the things that as I walked around work today and I was talking to a lot of the deputies that I work with, the phrase, you know, nobody wins in this marketing event. Nobody wins. Nobody comes out of this ahead. If Jake Paul wins, he knocked out an old man that he shouldn't have been in the ring with in the first place. And if Mike
Yeah,
Tyson wins,
but who
and if Mike
cares?
Tyson wins, he knocked out a YouTuber.
Okay. Jake, in fairness to that, Jake Paul has grown beyond the YouTuber label at this point.
Normally I'm the one making that argument, but here's the thing: when the only three boxers you have on your record are two part-time tomato cans and the one guy, one you still couldn't beat, and it took you like 3 tries to get him in the ring. I'm not. I'll be the first one to say give Jake Paul respect. He is trying to take this seriously. It's not his attempt at boxing I have issues with. It's his choice of opponents. At some point, you have to start fighting real people.
Well, that depends on what your goal is.
That's fair.
Okay, this is about money.
Well,
Jake
it's
Paul,
not always.
well, hang on. Jake Paul is fighting people who maximize his payday.
Hmm.
Like he could have fought not even necessarily a ranked guy in and around this weight class for a tenth of what he's getting to fight Mike Tyson. Which of those propositions sounds better to you?
Well, my favorite thing is, I feel like in I feel like he's been calling out Canelo as of late.
He's
Like,
been doing that for a while.
yeah. And I'll tell you what, I think Canelo would give him that fight because at this point,
He can't. Hang on,
Canelo
he
only
can't
wants.
right now, but he will. If
Well,
Jake knocks out Tyson, I do think the Canelo fight ultimately materializes, and I think at that point Canelo gives Jake Paul broken ribs and more head trauma than he knows what to do with.
oh yeah, Jake
The
Paul's not
skill
getting out.
differential there is it's insurmountable.
Yeah, in that fight, Canelo will be Mark Hunt, and he'll decide when it's over. So what's happening in this
Pretty much.
fight?
I mean, never mind that he always decides when a fight's over
All right,
because, he calls in the judges.
all right. So Jake
Yeah,
Paul
you
made
can
it out of the
already see.
Jake Paul made it all out of the first round here. We've been talking, and I've had to reset my TV at least once. So what happened in that first round?
Uh, Unofficial scorecard gave it to Tyson. I can see that. Both men trying to get the jab going. Tyson already slowing. Now, Jake's weaponry is he's got power, but his delivery system is not the best. But you can see Tyson already. He's not moving all that well. He's got bursts of energy and mobility, but he can't sustain it.
All right. So we have people watching on our various Facebook pages and YouTube and Twitch, to which I say thank you for. There's a million people doing the same exact thing we're
Oh
doing
yeah.
tonight. You chose to watch ours, so we appreciate you. Thank you. We have a comment section. Feel free to ask questions. We'll answer you as best we can. All right, we are into round 2.
Well, round 2 just ended.
You are so far ahead of me, at least 2 minutes.
Round 2, another closer round. Neither of these guys is landing a lot consistently. They'll probably go 2 to Tyson again, but you can see the wheels starting to come off a little bit. Jake's probably going to start pouring it on rounds like 4, 5, 6 is when I imagine he's really going to start getting into gear.
So I'm watching round 2 as it's happening on my TV, and again, we have a 2-minute lag between the two of us. And one of the things I'm liking about Jake Paul's performance tonight is he's not going toe to toe with Mike Tyson.
No, he's actually fighting pretty smart.
Yeah, he's using his footwork. He's staying bouncy. He's looking for an opportunity to land a jab or two, and I think that's smart because if he can accumulate punches over the course of the 8 rounds, that's going to be better than trying to go toe to toe with Tyson. And you really don't know how much of a chin Tyson has. I mean, granted, it's been a zillion outside of the Roy Jones fight. It's been a zillion years since Lennox Lewis. Maybe he can take a
there's
punch.
a left
Maybe
hook
he
from
can't.
Jake. Yeah, Tyson came out very aggressive to start the third, but that's really not sustainable at this point. Jake's starting to land. Oh, Tyson's wobbly. Man, that whole place is going to be so depressed if Jake knocks him out.
Yeah,
another left hand from Jake. Yeah, we're not much longer for this.
There is a contingent of people out there that definitely want to see people beat the living snot out of Jake Paul. He is, I'll tell you what, if you look through the annals of pro wrestling, right now the biggest heel in the world of sports entertainment is Jake Paul.
Logan.
No, Jake. Because
Jake's not a wrestler.
No, but I'm in terms of heels and people paying money to see the heel get his comeuppance. Jake Paul. People they fill the stadium to see Mike Tyson. To see Mike Tyson knock this guy's head off. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He is the Ric Flair of sports entertainment today. This is a guy
sports,
making his way around to different. But it is sports entertainment. I mean, you're taking me.
It's a sporting
in
contest, not a choreographed event.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And you're applying that definition to it. I'm going back to what I said before. This is a marketing event. It's entertainment. It's a sports entertainment. It's a legitimate sports entertainment. By the way, have you seen the stupid Facebook thing that's going around of the script of this fight leaked?
No, and frankly, I don't. Look, Jake's kind of carrying Mike a little bit at this point.
Sure. People pay good money to see this. They want to see a show. They don't want to see Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos be over in 10 seconds.
Well, counterpoint. That was pretty awesome for 60 seconds.
Yeah, I like watching Dana White cry.
That's always a good time. Yeah, third round over. Third round pretty easily goes to Paul. Yeah, Mike is not looking great.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. Mike's footwork is off. It's funny. So Pat and I did the year-long, almost 2 years of the history of heavyweight boxing, and we did an entire chapter dedicated to Mike Tyson. And one of the things that we talked about was his balance, his footwork, his swivel hips. You know, for a shorter than the average heavyweight fighter, he's
given up reach to Jake Paul here. Like
but he used his size and his body shape to his advantage. Plus, he had some of the best footwork in the history of heavyweight boxing. That's all gone now. I'm watching round 3 as I'm saying that.
Yeah, round 4 just about to start. And yeah, again, Mike's got a good 15, 20 seconds at the start of this round, and then it's going to fall apart again.
Mike Tyson kind of resembles late stage George Foreman right now.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me as well. And Paul is just being smart about it. He's still cognizant of getting hit.
Sure. Look,
so he's not going to.
Mike Tyson, I mean, you don't want to test yourself against Mike Tyson's power punch.
That is very true. So he's still trying to fight smart
Right.
as I'm looking into the fourth round here, which may or may not be the future for some of you.
Some of you may still be on Katie
So,
Serrano versus Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano.
yeah, it's possible. But yeah, Jake's left hand is starting to land a little bit more consistently. Tyson, he's always been a bit square, but he's very square now.
So I'm watching the in between. We're in Mike Tyson's corner.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, he does not look like he's especially enthused about being part of this fist fight.
Yeah.
And he's slipping a lot of Jake's offerings, especially one or two single shots, because Jake's not a big combination puncher.
Mm-hmm.
But when Jake does tack a third or a fourth onto that, that's when he's starting to land because Tyson just can't read it. And he's going on programming at this point. And this is going to have something real bad happen in the next couple of rounds, would be my guess.
Going into this fight, I was really curious to see if Tyson still had his hand speed.
For about 2 minutes, he does. If you look at some of his flurries in that first round, it's not prime, but he's 58 years old or whatever. It's going to have diminished a bit, but the problem with Tyson is that it's not sustainable.
Okay. So on mine, I'm in round 4 of 8, and they've got it. I think it's Tyson to Jake Paul 29-28.
Two could kind of go either way for me. Might be 2-2 coming out of the fourth. We're at the point where Mike Tyson is not going to win rounds after he was not really throwing back a whole lot in the fourth.
Yeah,
and even with a lower output like Jake has, he's winning the rounds.
Yeah, I'm watching it now, and Jake Paul's kind of doing what Anthony Joshua did again in the second Andy Ruiz fight. He's keeping the distance. He's moving in, throwing a combination of jabs and straights, and moving away again. And Tyson doesn't have the body speed anymore to keep up with him.
Yeah, a little bit. I saw the comparison be made to Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah.
If you watch that fight and you actually see what's going on, Floyd's carrying Conor, so that can go longer. Floyd barely trained for that fight because Conor's not a boxer, and then he just kind of went, okay, let's see what you got, and you drown very quickly, and then ultimately did get him out of there. Oh, right hand from Paul. Yeah, this is missed that one, but did land the left hook. Oh, there's a left hook from Jake. Yeah, Tyson's defense, his chin still seems to be mostly there. He's getting hit a few times and is not really being wobbled, but his defense is just the only thing holding up Jake's offensive output is Jake's decision at this point. If he really wanted to, he could go in there and, okay, let's throw a few and then, be cognizant of Tyson throwing the left hook back at you, but he doesn't have much more than that.
Here's the other thing about Jake Paul.
Body jab.
There's
Left
no
hook.
upside. There's no upside to knocking out Mike Tyson. Other than the obvious, you've knocked out an octogenarian. He wants.
Here's the upside.
Hang on. If your whole thing is celebrity sports contest entertainment fights, anything to to get a bigger payday, make your queue bigger, then you want to make this look appealing to other people who might want to do this with you. And if you just straight abuse the guy, no one's going to want to. It's the old Scott Kachowski. That's a bad fight for me. Okay. So Jake Paul has to, and I'll tell you this, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Jake Paul is fighting this fight like a guy who knows I can't get too crazy in there. No one will want to do this with me anymore, but I can't get too stupid. I'll fuck myself up and lose.
Yeah, he's trying to thread that needle, and
he's doing a good job of it.
It's doing okay. It's getting to the point where he really. Here's the thing, though. He also doesn't want to go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
You do want the late stoppage. You probably just don't want to make everyone too depressed. So you get a good flurry going, and then you get the ref to step in rather than just knocking Mike Tyson out cold.
Yeah. You want to get to the you want to get to the point where the ref has to save Tyson.
Or the corner throws in the towel, or some kind of physical thing like that. Like that's really kind of what you're after. Um, but again, the benefit to Jake Paul is this is the most watched fight all year. Like this is gonna be the biggest fight of 2024, boxing or MMA would be my hunch.
Yeah. Like
And you
like I said before, people who don't watch boxing, people who have no interest in boxing, people didn't even know boxing was still around, are at least tacitly aware of this fight and watching it with their boyfriend currently.
Or young, like if this had gone on at a reasonable time, all the 8 to 12-year-olds would be watching this.
Yes, my kids would be here.
If it hadn't started at midnight.
I'll tell you what, when I saw the thing about like, oh, it'll start at 11:30, and I'm like, okay, well, I figured it's a 4-fight card starting at 8 o'clock. This thing has to start at 11. And then and then we're going, and I'm like, all right, it's going to start at 11:30. And 11:30 comes around, I'm like, all right, we'll be back in a half an hour. And I almost threw my computer through the window. I was so mad.
Yeah, there's a right hand from Paul. This also does kind of feel like a sparring match a little bit at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if Jake's going to try and go through the gears a little bit and get something really going, or if he's going to be content with doing this, because you do want, as I mentioned, you don't want to go the distance with this guy.
No, I think what you said is accurate. I think we're gonna get to round 8, and then he's going to let his hands go, and then they're either going to throw the towel in or the ref's going to save Tyson. But I think he's got to get to round 8 first. We can't put the cart before the horse.
Well, 7 would be acceptable too, I think, as we're coming down the stretch for 8.
I don't know, man. People paid a lot of money to fill up this stadium. I think it behooves Jake to take this to the 8th round.
With 2-minute rounds, 7 or 8's no real difference to me, to most people, I think. Here's the other thing, though, and again, we touched on this briefly. These are 14-ounce gloves, and these are 2-minute rounds. If Jake does get what he wants, if he says, like, I want to fight Canelo, but he's, the big red chicken, he's ducking me, which is probably something like what he'll say.
Yeah, sure.
If Canelo bites on that, and he might, because that's easy money for him.
Sure.
Jake gets none of these considerations.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be in 10-ounce gloves. It's going to be 3-minute rounds, and he's going to hurt you.
Here's the thing. Do they do that? I mean, Jake fights at light heavyweight. Does Canelo go up to light heavyweight, or does Jake say something truly insane and go, no, I want all your super middleweight belts?
Jake couldn't make 168.
Mm-hmm.
They could probably work some kind of weight consideration out. That's not unless Jake wants the belts, which are, again, he is not going to make that weight. Then it's just, hey, let's make up some range. We'll make up a range that we're both comfortable with, and we'll figure it out. Like that's not the obstacle to this kind of fight.
Actually, the other thing to consider is I think Canelo wants another shot at Better Beef.
Sort of. That's kind of dependent on how Beterbiev and we know we're getting Beterbiev and Bivol again, and Canelo can just resume ducking David Benavidez. Dude, his refusal to fight that guy is comical.
It's starting to resemble the Great White Hype, where at the end of it, I can't remember which comedian it was, but at the end of it, he just runs in the ring and knocks out the champion, and be like, all right, you enough with ducking me already. It's gonna be one of those moments where we're gonna get Jake Paul Canelo. Jake Paul's gonna get, much like in the Great White Hype, get knocked out in the first round, and then David Benavidez is gonna run in.
Yeah, he might. But I mean, here's the thing: Benavidez moved up to light heavyweight as well. Like, okay, if you want to make noise about doing this with Bivol again, tell you what, I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can't run from me, Canelo. Hi, it's Mia.
Dude. I'm not saying Canelo can't win that fight, but Benavidez is the boogeyman for that man for whatever reason.
All right, so let's tell the people what's going on, Robert, and I'm gonna let you do it, seeing as
we're in the last minute of the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike is still vertical, moving, but he's getting tagged a bit more. There's a decent-ish 1-2 from Jake, left hand to the body. It's just kind of at the point where if you deal with the first 10 seconds of a round, Tyson doesn't have much left after that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake is just, oh, there's a couple of punches that land. He's trying to feel him uppercut, left hook. Okay, yeah, Jake could, in theory, put together a string that might actually end this if he wants to, but he's still being. I think you're right. I think he's waiting for the 8th because
Told
we're
you.
going to get out of the 7th.
You don't give me the credit that I deserve, but I know people. I've seen people. I know people.
I would have been okay with that being in the 7th, but we're going to the 8th, and we'll see
You're
if.
not in there with Mike Tyson, my friend. So yeah, stop myself.
No, if I were in there, Mike probably would have got me out in the first round. I'm not.
The thing of it is there's so much entertainment psychology, and it's something I study. It's not even like a personality thing. It's a lot of this stuff by the numbers.
And yeah, Mike, between getting ready for the last round, he looks less than stellar.
He
For a
looks like
man who literally showed his ass on this broadcast.
So my son's favorite part of the build up to this, he had to tell me about it as soon as I came home tonight. I worked overtime, so I came home close to 8, and he was like, "Father," he calls me father. He says, "Father, I saw the weigh-ins," and I'm like, "I'm so proud of you. You're paying attention to boxing, Jonas, without my behest. Like that's fantastic, Father. Mike Tyson grabbed his junk like he was shifting gears, like that." Track.
After he slapped, and he slapped Jake Paul because Jake Paul stepped on his foot. And yeah, Mike went to the ceremonial weigh-ins in a G-string.
And adjusted himself accordingly.
And then like during the Serrano Taylor fight, at one point they cut away to an interview with Tyson in the room, and he's just wearing the cup, the jockstrap scenario. He turns around and walks away, and the cameraman just was not prepared for avoiding the shot of Mike Tyson's bare ass.
And here's a tasteful shot of me buttocks as Mike Tyson walks away.
Yeah, and okay, Jake's starting to land a bit more readily here as we are in the 8th.
I mean, he's running out of time now.
Tyson's showing the left hook still, but if Jake wants the stoppage, it's theoretically possible. He's just got to be willing to really pull the trigger. Body shot from Jake. He resets way too much for this phase of the fight. He'll throw his couple of punches and then he'll back off like 3 steps and reset. If he wants to get this out of there, he needs to.
Doesn't that go to Jake's lack of
it's an experience, not a. Yeah, that's all it is. This is a thing. This is a fixable thing.
Yeah,
but it's very obvious that's what he's doing at this point.
This is a thing that goes away when you've had 20 fights.
Yeah,
he's fighting.
Oh, like right hand, left hook.
He's fighting like a guy who's still learning how to fight because you know what he
is.
It's like there's no getting around that. Like because he has big time pay-per-view, fill up a stadium fight, people think Jake Paul is more experienced than he really is. He's not.
We are going to go the distance.
I hate to be the one.
Barring some last second heroic. Yeah, no, we're done.
Okay. But Tyson didn't flop, huh?
He did not. And Jake ultimately decided not to pull the trigger because he, in this kind of scenario, does not have that. Look, he hits hard enough to knock people out. He really does, but.
Sean Wheelock's card had him 68-65 going into the 8th, by the way.
That's about right. You could give Tyson 1 and 2. Yeah, I don't think you could give him more than that.
Right. So at this point, it's elementary, my dear Watson. I believe Jake Paul's going to win this thing.
Yeah.
And when they call out the scores, just let me know. But let's kind of start to wrap here. I think in terms of knowing what Netflix needs to do to get, football, basketball, baseball, some other big time boxing event, something where the world will be watching, a WrestleMania maybe, they now know what they have to do, not this. And I don't mean this event. I mean fix your bandwidth problems.
Well, they seemed to get it. It got a little bit better as the event wore on. But yeah, a lot of this, if you're on the Netflix side of this, one, you're grateful for the traffic, but two, this is a lot of like real time stress testing and bug
Yeah.
fixing.
I mean, it could be worse. They could have made you pay extra for it. Then people would be pissed.
Yeah, the fact that this is just, hey, if you have Netflix and everybody has Netflix,
Right.
then here you go.
So I think it's a learning experience for them. Um, I actually, I mean, I would give this a C plus in terms of an experience
You're
for
being
Netflix.
a you're being a little bit generous.
No, I mean in terms of they did this. It looks nice. I mean, look, we have seen some truly trash presentations. Um, oh God, what was it that I covered with Bailey where they had it was like a Triller fight where they had Snoop Dogg on commentary and they were like
That would have
smoking
been a
pot on
Triller
the air.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember. I think that was either a Jake Paul or maybe it was the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. I don't remember which one anymore.
It would have been either Paul and Askren or Tyson and
Yeah,
RJJ.
but that looked like garbage.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, so in terms of the event production, yeah, this looks like a legitimate fight. The hardware on the streaming side, like they have to figure some of that out.
that's why I gave them the C plus because I think okay, they know everything they did wrong now. They're not stupid. This is a multi-million-dollar company with a giant stock price.
Okay, hang on.
They're gonna fix it.
Right. Okay, we are about to get the scores read at some point in the very near future. Um, so yeah, in theory they can fix that. I would be more C, leaning C minus than C plus, but you know.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I think I'm wondering if they'll take a call with Amazon or Peacock or even ESPN. ESPN streams a lot of stuff. I mean, especially this year, because of the gambling that I was doing, I watched a lot of football. There's a lot of football going on at the same time. You know, Amazon did a really great job this year. I watched a lot of football on Amazon. During one of the hurricanes, I watched it on my iPad just on my data plan, and it worked just fine after a few resets. So I think if you're smart and you're Netflix, take a call with Amazon and be like, all right, what did you guys do to fix this? How are you guys doing so well? Because I mean, everyone's watching football.
Yeah, okay, for the record, Jake Paul, unanimous decision. Um,
What
two
if
judges gave Mike Tyson only the first round. I missed a little bit of the other one. That one might have been a shutout for Jake, which I think is weird. I thought Tyson at least had the first.